Hello, I'm Junaid Ahmad. This video is recorded for the sixth experiment for our web technology lab exercise. And this experiment is about JavaScript, timer functions, and objects. The first question that we have is to display a digital clock. So for that, we have created a stamp and we have given the ID as time. We use a JavaScript function display where we take the object of date as d. Now, using document.getElement by id, we use inner HTML method and we use time id. So this is where our time will be displayed. We use d.getHours method to get the hours, then get minutes, get seconds, and we set the interval for the display as 1000 milliseconds. This set interval is a timer function and it will execute this function, display function, every 1000 milliseconds. Here we can see the output. This is the current time. The second question is to change the background dynamically every 30 seconds. So for that we have to use dot style with the document dot get element by tag name. Here we use the tag body because we have to change the background of the entire body, and we use the background property as background color. Now for the color value, we take red, blue and green values, and we are taking the RGB combination. So we use math random function to generate random numbers from 0 to 255, and we use the same code for calculating red, blue and green values. Now the color code that we use, the format is RGB, and in the brackets first of all we write the intensity of red, then green, then blue. So the values that we get here in the variables are written for the color variable, and color variable is attached to the background color property, and set interval is used here, and it calls the color method every 30,000 milliseconds. That means 30 seconds. So it is going to take a little time. We have to wait for 30 seconds for this background to change. Okay, you didn't have to wait that much. Now in a few minutes, I hope it is going to change from blue to some other color. Okay, just wait a minute. Okay, it changed from blue to green color, so it's working fine. Third question is to zoom the text. That means basically we have to increase the size of text paragraph or any span when we hover over it. So for that we use the object on mouse over and on mouse out. So for the paragraph with ID para1, when on mouse over, we call inc size method, and on mouse out we use dec size method. So inc size is get element by ID. For para1 style, we print font size as 20 pixel, and when out, that means dec size, we print the style as font size 14. So we can check the display. This is the size 14. When I hover over it, it gets to 20, 14, 20. Then fourth question is we have to animate an image. When we click on a button, it should start moving right, and it should stop when we click on a stop button. So for that we need an image. So this is the image that we are using, car.jpg, and we have created two buttons with value start and stop, and on click object is used. So when on click on start, we call the function move right. On stop, we call the function stop. So we are creating a variable named ing and we assign it null value and another variable animate. So we have to call function init, and in init we take ing object equal to document.getElementById ing. That means this image we get in the ing object. And from ing object we take style position relative and style left 0. So this is basically we are applying styles to this image. And then for move right function we take ing object dot style dot left. Now we take the value of the current style, that is we have to consider the value of ing object dot style dot left. When we try to retrieve it we'll get it as a string, so we have to use parse int, and then we increment it by 1 and we append px, that means pixels, to it so that it will be assigned as a style. Then animate we use set timeout here, move right, and we are doing it every 10 milliseconds. So it should be 10. And for function stop we use clear timeout animate, and stylus set back to 0, and window on load init. We don't have to give any button or anything to call the init method. As soon as the window is loaded, init method is called. So we can see the output here. If I click start, the image starts moving, right? And when I click stop, it comes back to its initial place. Now the last question is, we have an array named student and we have some arrays inside the arrays. I'm sorry, it's not an array, it's every element has multiple values. So for student we give three properties: name, R number, and DOP. So we have two students here, and to print these values we use .length method to calculate the number of students in the student array. We use document.getElementById and we print it in details inner HTML. We have to use plus here because if you don't use this plus, whatever value was already stored there will be replaced by the new value. We don't want to replace, we want to append it. So that's why we use plus, and we use a breakline statement, student name, and we have to print it in a proper manner. It should look like a string, not just rough data. So we print that student name, then register number is the register number R number value, and his date of birth is the date of birth value. So if we check here for the two values, we get it as ABC's register number is 123 and his date of birth is 20th April 1995. Similarly, XYZ's register number is 456. XYZ's register number is 456 and his date of birth is 5th of January 1998. So currently we have successfully used and understood the concept of timer functions and objects in JavaScript. Thank you.